Hey, hi everyone.
Hi everyone.
Uh, so this is the last day of our 6-day UI UX bootcamp. We'll wait a couple of minutes more just so that people can join in.
Yeah, so in the meantime, feel free to put questions you have in the chat and how your experience has been so far. This is our last live session, so let us know how it has been for you.
Yeah, and if you have any doubts or queries, just make sure you guys are ready with that. At the end of the session, uh, during the middle of the session, we'll go through those doubts in case you want to get it cleared up. So, how was the prototyping session last day? And have you guys tried it on Figma? Just let us know in the comments. Just drop a Y if you have tried, and if you haven't, it's okay if you haven't because you still have time till the 30th before your final submission.
Yeah, on 13th we'll be sharing a Google form and you'll be able to submit everything together.
Yeah. So make sure you guys are doing it in a single Figma file with all the days as pages so that it's easy for us and for you. Guess no one has tried prototyping. Just drop a Y in the chat if you have. All right, I think let's get started.
Yeah, we'll start with today's session.
All right, so hi everyone. Welcome to the day 6 of UI UX Bootcamp conducted by DSC MEC in collaboration with DevQuest. So this is the last and final day of our bootcamp. It all comes to an end today, but this is just the beginning for you guys on your designer journey. So make sure you get the most out of it. Ask doubts, anything. So, and if you haven't watched the previous 5 sessions, go through it. The link to the playlist will be in the description. So go through that as well. And we'll get started. Janice will give you an overview of what we'll be looking at today, and we can get started on today's session.
Okay, so today we'll be looking at something that we couldn't cover in the last session, which is dark and light themes. So I'll be showing you how to do dark theme for your app. And then after that, we'll just give you some general information on how to, like the next steps, how to find inspiration, and then we'll have a Q&A section. And then in the end, we'll just wind up this whole boot camp. And that's our plan for today. So we'll get started with the first part.
Yeah.
I will share my screen now. Okay, I see that one person has put a Y in the chat. That's really great. Okay, so now we're going to look at dark theme and light theme. So some things that you should look out for. And I'll also show you how to do a screen in dark theme for your project here. Okay, so the first thing you should know when you design dark theme is that your color palette will actually change slightly. So I have here screenshots of this calculator app that I have in my phone. And you can see here, this is the dark theme and the light theme, and the accent color here is blue. Right, so I have a rectangle here, and I'm actually going to go to the fill. And with the eyedropper tool, I'm going to select the color, the background color in the dark theme. So as you can see here, this color, the hex code is actually 202125. So it's not fully black. it's a really dark gray. So that's the first thing you should note. The background is never completely black, it's just a really dark gray. And another interesting thing to note is that all of your colors slightly change when you do dark theme. So I'm just going to duplicate this rectangle and I'm going to select the color of the blue in the dark theme. And again, I'm going to duplicate this and I'm going to select the color of the blue in the light theme. So if I zoom in here, you can see that these colors are not really the same, right? If I bring it close, you can see this one's a little darker than this one. So when you do dark theme, your entire palette will change just a little bit. So you may have seen this optical illusion. I'll just show it here. So this optical illusion. And you have these gray tiles here, right? So one tile is marked A and the other one is marked B. And which tile is lighter, which one is darker. So it looks like A is darker than B, but actually they are both the same color. And when you simply look at it, it just feels like A is darker than B. And the reason why is because A is this gray color surrounded by light tiles. So because it is surrounded by light tiles, it makes it look darker than it actually is. And here if you look at B, B is surrounded by dark tiles. So because it is surrounded by dark tiles, relative to that, it looks really light. So that's kind of the same thing that happens here when you design for light theme and dark theme. When you have dark theme, if you use the same accent color, it will look too bright and it will be harmful for your eyes. So instead, you will make your color a little darker. So now we have our screen here from earlier. So in the earlier sessions, you saw the recipe page, right? So this is the community page in our app. And I'm actually going to make a dark theme for this. So I'm just going to duplicate this frame. Okay, and like I said before, the color palette will also change. So I'm going to duplicate the color palette. Okay, and this is going to be the color palette for your dark theme. Also, another little tip for you, if you have some elements like this, here you have all these circles and you also have text, right? So if you want to scale this, if you simply do this, it will get all distorted. So instead you can press K on your keyboard and then drag it and it will properly scale. So that's a little tip for you. Okay, so now we are going to make the dark theme screen. So in dark mode, the background will be a really dark gray. Like I said before, it's not completely black. It's going to be a really dark gray color. So I'm just going to make it something like that. And that will be the color that is in 60% of our screen. So I'll just make this 60 also the same color. And then our light color will be not white, it will just be a really light gray. So I'll just show it here again. You see the numbers on the dark theme, right? If I select that color here, you can see that it's almost the same color as the background on Figma. It's not white, it's just really light gray. So I'll actually select the same color for our text here. And that is our 30% color. I'll change the text here as well. Make it that really light gray. Then like I said before, the accent color, it will still be green, but it will be a little less bright. So I'm going to select that color and make it a little darker. Just copy that, and that will be the accent color, which is in 10% of our screens. Again, the red color also will make it a little bit dark, and the yellow as well. Now here we have a gray also. I'll make that gray dark. So when our background was white, this gray was a really light gray. But when our background is black, it will be a really dark gray. Okay, so now let's start changing the colors. So first I'm going to select the whole frame and make the background dark. So this color. Okay, so the next thing is the status bar. I'm going to make the background color the same, and I'm actually going to make it slightly darker than the background. Okay. So now we have our status bar. Okay, and then you see the icons there, right? Like the time and the battery and everything. That I'm going to make it our light color, which is this one. Okay, so now it's the status bar is done. Now the stop bar, I'm going to make it, let's see. I'm going to change the background to the same color as the main background. Okay, so you can see that that is done. Now on the left you have this icon here, right? And it is the background is white. So I'm just going to change it to the dark gray that we had. Okay, so now it's dark. Yeah, you can see that. And the lines in the icon, I will change it to our white color. Okay, so you can see that it's changed, right? Now another thing is, look at this profile icon. Here in the white background, you can see that it's really light, it's really bright. But here it looks too dull. So I'm going to select that. And here we had it at opacity 39%. I'm going to change it to maybe 50. Okay, a little more, so like 65 maybe. Okay, so now it's a lot clearer, right? Okay, so the top part is done. Now we have to change all of the titles in each of the posts. So I'm just going to select all of those titles and use our white color. Okay, so that's easy to see, right? It doesn't look like it's gray, it looks like it's white, but it's actually just a really light gray. Then you have the dates. I'm going to select all of that. And I'm going to select the same white. But this time, in order to create a little bit of hierarchy, I'm going to reduce the opacity to maybe around 85%. So now you can see that the title is really noticeable and the date is still visible, but it's not as bright. Next is the body text. So I'm going to select those and then fill it with our white color again. And this time again to create hierarchy, I'm going to bring the opacity down to 75. Okay, so usually when you have text on your dark background, the opacity is lesser because you don't want people to strain their eyes when they look at it. And then you can see here we have the save icon. I'm just going to select those and I'm going to give it a dark gray color. Actually, you can see that it's a little too dark, right? It's not really clearly visible. So I'm just going to select those and use our white. Use the white color here. Sorry. That was the fill. I'm sorry for the delay. I'll just change it to white. Yeah, okay, so now it's white and it's really bright. So I'm just going to bring down the opacity to around 50%. That's a little bit more visible, right? Then we have the buttons. So like I said before, the green in our dark theme palette is darker than the other palette that we had. So I'm going to select our buttons and I'm going to change the color to this darker green. So now you can see it is a little bit easier on your eyes, right? It's not too bright. Then I'm going to select the rating here and I'm going to make it the same green color. Okay, so I think we have a question, how to select similar text all together. So what I did now was I clicked, if I'm selecting the title, I select that particular text and then I press shift and then the next text. And then again, while holding shift down, I just select the next one. So you have it all together. Okay, and then here at the bottom, I hope that answers your questions. If there is anything else, do ask in the chat. Now the bottom, I didn't change the background, so I'm just going to select our dark color. Alright. Now the next thing is the icons on the nav bar. I'm going to select those. And here you can see the opacity is at 100%. So I'm just going to bring it down a little bit, maybe around 80%, so it's not as bright. Okay, so we're almost done, right? We didn't change the yellow colors. I'm going to select our new darker yellow color and that is done. Okay, so another thing, if you didn't notice, it's that you have this button here in a green color and then you have this rating here as well. And they're both the same green color. But still the text here looks a little darker than this button, right? I'll just zoom in a little more so you can see. And that's because this button has more area on the screen than the text. So I'm just going to select the text of the rating and make it a little bit lighter so that it looks similar to the color of the button. Okay, so with that you have your dark theme screen. So yeah, things to note, just change your color palette. Make sure that all of your accent colors are a little bit less bright. And then your blacks are not completely black, they're just a really dark gray. And your white is going to be a really light gray instead of pure white. Okay, so those are some things that you can think about while you do your dark theme. And another thing actually you can do to save time is, suppose you had a rectangle here and maybe it's a button, so I'll just change that. Okay, now if you have a button like this, okay, I'm going to show you another feature that Figma has. Here on the top, you can see this diamond shape. It's like 4 little diamonds on the screen. If you select that, this rectangle becomes a component. So what that means is if you create a copy of it, or multiple copies, however many you want, these are now called instances. And if you look to the left, the panel on the left, you can see it's just an outline of a diamond. And what this does is actually, if you change this component, the instances will change in the same way. So suppose you wanted to change all of your buttons. Maybe you wanted to change the color of all of your buttons, and your buttons are on lots of places in multiple screens. Then it's difficult to manually go and change them, right? So if you have one component, then you can just change the color of that component, and then all the instances will change accordingly. So it's like the component is the parent, and these are all the children, and it will change in the same way that you change the parent. So that's like one useful tip that you can use on Figma. Also, another thing, if you have noticed, the background on Figma is actually gray, right? It's not white, it's not black. And the reason why is because, like I showed you before, colors appear darker when it's surrounded by white, and colors appear lighter when it's surrounded by a dark color. So this gray is kind of like an in-between color. And when you design, it's really good to have a gray background so that your perception of color, it doesn't like shift around too much. So I saw that some of you had tried changing the background color on your Figma file, and that's really great if you are just going to add like images or anything. But when you do design, especially when you design dark theme, just make sure that the background is gray so that it's a neutral background that you can design against. So that's it about the dark theme, and with that, I think we come to the end of all the Figma tutorials and everything. So if you have any other questions, do leave it in the chat.
All right. And hope you guys understood hope you guys understood that dark theme is not just replacing the colors by its complementary colors. It's actually much more than that. It's We take the factor that for like accessibility and the fact that it shouldn't affect the user's eyes. So all those things are considered while designing a dark theme. And if you have any doubt regarding the submission, regarding the certificate, regarding the uh, submission dates, anything, and any shortcuts on Figma, do leave it in the comments. And if you are watching it as a recording, do ping us on Discord's doubts channel.
Yeah, and again, in the last session at the end, we mentioned the Figma Mirror app. So if you missed that, you can just install the Figma Mirror app on your phone, and then you can see your designs on your phone. So you can test it out that way. That will be really useful for you.
Yeah. And I'll talk a few things about advancing your career, what to do from here, so that you guys know that this is just the beginning, right? It's only been 6 days or 10 days in whole that you have started in designing. You started in UX UI designing. So I'll tell a few things that will help you guys. So you can refer to websites like Dribble or Behance to get inspiration, but make sure that when you see an app uh, uh, that has your that which is what you are looking for, then make sure you don't copy it as it is presented in Dribble or Behance, because some of the designs presented in Dribble and Behance are not applicable. because there are a lot of information missing in the designs which are presented in Dribble and Behance. It's just for the looks of that and for the color details. So most of them are not practical. So make sure when you copy, do not copy a design, but you can steal ideas. Like stealing is not as bad as uh, copying, because when you according to Steve Jobs, stealing requires you to modify uh, the item that you see with your own, by adding your own ideas and interpretations. So it's not just the thing that you see take inspiration from, you have to add your own unique touch to it. So that's one thing to keep in mind when you take inspiration from these websites. Make sure you don't copy, because it can have legal actions. They can um, complain or report against you. So make sure you take inspiration, but do not copy others designs. You can take certain elements. Maybe you see a beautiful app which reciprocates your own app, but with the rounded corners or a much better color. You can take those inspirations and make your app better, but make sure you do not copy the entire thing as such, because it's not good in, it will not be good for your career.
We had a question again about the submission. You will
Mm.
be able to submit your entire Figma file consisting of the tasks from every session together as a link, and we'll put out a form on 13th.
Right. And surprise, today there is no task. Um, uh, there are only 5 tasks. You can take today off maybe, but do not stop designing. There are still a lot to learn. You can follow the Figma YouTube channel. There are a lot of short videos which you can simply watch and uh, learn new tricks and stuff. And make sure you guys share those videos. If you find something interesting in Discord too, we can learn from that too. So currently, we had initially planned the submission date to be today or tomorrow, but we had added 2 days. In case there are less, we'll see if everyone is able to do it on 13. And yeah,
Yeah, if many people want to extend the time, then maybe we can consider that.
there's a question. Can you share your personal UI UX design journey? That was the first question that Aditya, the lead of DevQuest, asked us on the first day, right? Will Janice, if you please share that, then
Yeah,
I'll
okay.
go.
So I started learning UI UX by myself, looking at online courses, YouTube videos, things like that. And I started, I think, when I was in 12th and after that only. So I didn't know that it was a field before that. I liked graphic design and creative things like that. And then when I joined engineering college, I realized that there was this field that combined creativity with technology. So I got really interested in that. I actually did a few courses on Coursera and I got really interested. And then I just started doing like projects by myself. And after that, I joined this developer students club, and I got the chance to design our website. So that was really fun. We had a team of people, we designed it together. And then now I'm still learning by myself, doing whatever kind of projects I can, attending all these kinds of events, learning from my peers and everything. So that's kind of my journey. So, Isaac, what about you?
Cool, cool. So I started my design journey from, I think, May 2020, and which was a year of lot of stuff going on, right? We got a year-long vacation, and it's still going on, right? So I just started with UI design in a similar UI design workshop which my friend hosted uh, by a club in our college. So I started from there. I stayed with him after long after that, learning different tricks and clearing all my doubts. Then I went and learned from other YouTube videos, small courses. There are courses for UI UX designing. There are free courses as well as paid courses. So there's a Google certification course in Coursera, and you can literally find anything there. And then after that, uh, after 7 or 8 months, I started applying for. I did personal projects like small app designing, small websites, landing pages, etc. And then I started applying for internships via Internshala. Then of course the rejections are heavy because I applied like for like 60 to 70 um, uh, uh, jobs or internships, but I think I got shortlisted for like 7 or 8 and got an interview for 1 or 2 and didn't clear that. And later that soon after that I got an internship via referral from my friend and did it for 2 months. Then I moved on to I did a UI design, um, freelance UI design thing, and after that, currently I'm working as a UI design intern at Hyperface, a small startup in an early stage startup in based in Bangalore. So that's my journey. Because and for your uh, resume and portfolio, you must have, in order to get these internships, right, you will have to have some projects. You will need to explain your design process. You guys learn the UX path and the UI path, right? So like Janice explained all in all these sessions, you will have to explain your process to them. Then the interviewer must understand what you are thinking while you are designing. So you must be able to say that, and your of course your design should look amazing. It will take time sometimes, so um, make sure you guys don't feel bad while others are doing much better than you, or don't look at others, don't compare yourself. That's a really important thing, because I used to do that a lot, and it only makes us feel bad. So that's one thing to keep
Yeah.
in mind.
And also, this project that you did throughout this bootcamp, if you are able to complete it, you can add it to your portfolio. And even if you are not able to finish all the screens and make a high fidelity mockup of all the screens, you still have your user flow diagram, which is like the structure of the app, right? So you can put that down and then write like a case study or something, like how did you find a problem, what was your process, everything, and then add your wireframe and everything. You can create a case study for your portfolio. So if you are doing this for the first time, then this can be your start, this can be your first project.
Right. So and attend as many workshops and boot camps as you can, so you can learn more stuff like this. Not only design, try out everything, so that once you fall in love with some skill and you develop upon it, if you even if you didn't uh, quite like the UI UX space, you can try out different things. Now that you have tried this out, you know that you have tried it but you didn't like it. Now you can try another thing, but make sure you put enough effort in this, so that you know that you have tried your best. And then it will be a feeling like that you are in the right path when you find something else. Maybe it may be coding, app development, web development, backend, anything of sort. So you guys will know. And also there might come a time when you feel like I have no more ideas, I can't think creatively, but it's just a phase of designing, right? So make sure you guys push through it, continue doing stuff, take a break, uh, like while doing this, uh, not like a literal snack break or a tea break, but pause for some time and then restart again. You will be starting fresh then. So make sure you don't leave it just like that. Most people do that. So just saying that, just putting it out there. So yeah. All right, we have another question. Why did you choose Figma as the design tool? Are there other apps that are used by professional graphic designers? I think Janice is much capable of answering that.
So we chose Figma because it's really widely used, and you can collaborate with people on Figma. So that's a really huge benefit, and it's also free, and you can actually create teams. So if you're working with other people, then you can all design together, and then even the people who are going to do the code for your design, they can also be able to view the same Figma file. So that's a really good benefit of Figma. Then other apps used, I guess Adobe XD is used a lot.
Yeah, and Sketch
Then
and
yeah,
InVision, those apps are there. But why we chose Figma? One more reason is that before all these Adobe XD, Figma, Sketch, all these came up, designers used to use UI designers also used to use Photoshop for designing screens, right? And Photoshop is a really too powerful tool for this thing, UI designing. It's a graphic designing tool. So if you have seen the interface of Photoshop or Illustrator, I have tried it, but it was really hard for me to get my head around with all those different tools. But when I came to Figma, you guys have already seen, right? Only just six tools and 6 or 7 tools, and then their properties in the right side. So that's just that, and you can create wonders with that. And in fact, I'll say all the posters that you guys see, even the background banners that you see, everything was created in Figma. So I use Figma as a graphic design tool as well. So there are a lot of possibilities here. You can actually create small 3D type effects here too. Uh, Try to learn that too. It's really fun.
also explore plugins. There's like so many useful plugins
Yeah,
on Figma, and also the Figma community. You can search for anything, and you'll find something that someone else has made. You can look at it, see how they made it, get inspired. And then there's also things like icons that you can find, color palettes, like lots of things in the Figma community page. So that's really useful as well.
yeah,
Then one other thing I wanted to say is on Figma you have that present button, right? So you can see the prototype and go through it. So you can actually use that to test your design with users. So once you do your design, even if it's not a high fidelity mockup, if you have enough screens that someone can look at your prototype and go through it, then you can actually send it to your friends and like have them go through it and give you feedback. And I actually worked with a few people on the project that we showed you, right, Wastely. Yeah, so what we did there was we sent our Figma link, the prototype link, to some people. We selected 5 people, and then we got on a call with them, so a Google Meet with them. And then we asked them to share their screen and then go through the prototype. And as they go through the prototype, we told them to just think out loud, like give their opinion, honest opinion on everything. And we did this with 5 people, and we got so much of feedback. So you can actually do that with your friends, or like just try it out when you have your design done. And then with that feedback, you can make design changes and make your project better. So if you do that, you can actually add that part to your portfolio as well. Like this was our initial design, then we tested it and we found this kind of feedback. So we made some changes, things like that you can do. So that's also a really cool feature that Figma has.
yes. So that is that. And as you guys have already seen the recent job openings in UI and UX and related fields, right? There are a lot of openings in as internships. There are a lot of opportunities in doing freelance. So make sure you guys check out people who does that. Maybe connect with them so you guys know what you are missing or what you want to do to get there. So networking is a really key thing to keep in mind while you are a designer. You guys have stayed with us from day one, right? So if you didn't know anything then, you guys have a skill now. You guys know how to go around with Figma, play around with it, learn more about it. There are a lot of stuff to learn. Even if you feel like you have learned something, there will be more coming up. There's a lot of competition in this field, so you need to stand out. So that's that. And if there's is there any more questions?
Also, you
Also,
can
if you
find
yeah.
yeah, okay. You can find so many different videos on YouTube and a lot of articles on Medium as well. Like just search for UX design or UI design, and you'll get many specific topic specific articles and videos and everything. And again, like the site we mentioned earlier, NN Group. If you're particularly interested in user experience, they have really great content. Their videos are so short, and you can just easily go through them. They explain everything really clearly. So that's one site that I use all the time.
Yes. And also, for your in order to get your certificates, we told that we'll be sharing a Google form, right? That will be on the 13th. Probably at midnight, we'll be closing that. Make sure you submit your work, even if it's not finished completely. Just submit your Figma file there. So make sure you guys do that. 13th will be the last date to do that. And for make sure you guys share your presentation. Last class we last session we discussed how to present your screens, right? Do share that, export that as an image and share that in our Discord. We'll select a few and we'll add that in our uh, DSC MEC Instagram page. And with that, let's can we invite Aditya and Siddharth to the screen,
Yeah.
the stage?
Hey guys, that was an
Hey,
amazing session, right?
yeah. Hey
Hey
Siddharth,
Sidhu.
you're on mute.
Okay. Hey everyone. So with that, we are at the end of the session.
Yes, so that was actually a really amazing session. Thank you, Isaac and Janice, firstly, and I hope that all of our audience enjoyed the session as well. So now we come to the end of this amazing 6-day bootcamp. I hope you guys still stay with us because we have a lot more things in store for you. As Isaac and Janice said, we have a competition coming up. We have lots of stuff coming up, and we also have, and there's a big thing that we are planning. We cannot reveal that yet, but it is coming up. So we also have web development boot camps. We have Android development boot camps coming up. So there's like a lot in store for you. So stay tuned with us. Let's grow together, learn and connect together. Also, I would like to invite Professor Vinu Thomas sir, Dr. Vinu Thomas sir, who is the principal of our college, Model Engineering College. He actually would like to share something with you guys. I'll quickly share.
Good afternoon. We expected this event to have a participation of around 150 students. But to a pleasant surprise, we received an astonishing number of 670 plus participants. It is delightful to note that there was such wide participation for this event. I congratulate the organizers of the event for handling the sessions meticulously. This event's success can be attributed to the active participation and the wholehearted submissions of the daily tasks by all the participants. It is astonishing to see the passion that the participants have towards designing, which is evident from the zeal and enthusiasm with which the students have approached the bootcamp session. I wish all the participants the very best in the future endeavors. Keep up the good work. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. So, Sidhu, you can take it over from here.
Hey guys, I hope you had a great learning experience. And it was a 6-day boot camp, not like a 1-day session. So now we are at the end of the session, I mean our boot camp, and we have Professor Srikumar sir our staff advisor, DSC MEC, for the vote of thanks.
Dear all, I am Srikumar, Staff Advisor of DSC MEC. It brings me great happiness to see such incredible participation today and for all prior sessions. Initially, we at DSC MEC had a target of 150 participants or maybe even a bit more at mind. Shattering our expectations, we received more than 600 participants. It was heartwarming to see such a huge response on your behalf. To our pleasant surprise, we reached more than 2000 views for the very first day, and that just goes to show the fervor and dedication with which the students approached the sessions and tasks. With great delectation, I would like to extend my warm regards to the participants who performed all the tasks and attended the sessions with great fervor and dedication. Finally, I would like to congratulate the people behind the scene. The organizers and mentors who work tirelessly to maintain and deliver quality sessions. I wish everyone all the best for all future initiatives that you may partake in. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you,
so
sir.
much. Thank you so much, sir.
So, Sidhu, you're on mute, by the way.
Okay. So, and we are finally here at the end. And we thank you all for making this bootcamp a grand success. As Sir said, initially we didn't expect such a huge participation, and it's you guys who made this a grand success. And special mention to Isaac and Janice for their effort and dedication. And I must
Thank
say,
you.
they took the sessions in an amazing way. Once again, thank you all.
And remember, this is just the beginning for you. And
Yeah.
for us, we will be seeing you as a lot soon. We have amazing design and non-design bootcamps planned. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And
Yeah,
I
and
would like to, yes, Janice.
yeah, and stay connected in the Discord server. Make sure it stays active. It's going to be our design community. So yeah, just stay connected there.
Yeah. And I would like to extend my gratitude towards DevQuest and DSC MEC of our college for giving us this opportunity to conduct this beautiful session, and I thank Janice for hosting this session with me. And with that, and also a warm thank you for all you guys who have took part in this 6 days bootcamp with us, did every task, did it better than us, and we hope to see you guys soon. So stay tuned in Discord and stay connected as well. So thank you.
Yeah, and same to you too, Isaac, for co-hosting this with me. And this was a great learning experience for us as well. And we first planned this a lot earlier, and then we had to postpone it again and again. And finally, we got to conduct it. So it's really great to be a part of this whole session.
Yeah.
I got a huge response too, so thank you, everyone. We'll
Thank you all.
see every one of you in the Discord server.
Thank you
Signing
for
off.
next event.
Bye bye.
Bye.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Bye.